In the mountains of Abruzzo, Italy, a powerful early-season winter storm has transformed an entire region into a frozen disaster zone. Over the course of a single night, more than 3 feet of snow blanketed communities between Pesco, Costanzo, and Campo di Giove, burying roads, overwhelming local infrastructure, and leaving residents stranded as temperatures plunged below freezing. Mountain passes at elevations over 3,900 feet were forced to shut down, and multiple provincial roads collapsed under the weight of fallen trees, ice, and debris. Emergency crews worked through the night as vehicles became immobilized. Boulders tumbled onto highways, and long lines of motorists waited in gridlocked traffic near the A25 motorway. For many residents, simply stepping outside meant sinking ankle-deep into powder that looked beautiful but posed serious danger. As the storm intensified, Abruzzo moved from winter postcard to full-scale emergency, revealing just how vulnerable mountain communities can be when nature strikes without mercy. When the winter storm struck the Abruzzo region, the impact was immediate and overwhelming. What began as steady snowfall quickly escalated into a full-scale weather emergency, burying towns and mountain communities under over 3 feet of snow. Within hours, familiar roads disappeared under thick, wind-packed drifts, transforming highways into silent white corridors where vehicles could no longer move. Along the stretch between Pesco, Costanzo, and Campo di Giove, one of the highest elevations in the region, the snowfall intensified into blinding whiteout conditions. Crews watched snow pile up faster than plows could push it aside, forcing authorities to shut down the Vallico della Forchetta mountain pass, a critical route sitting nearly 4,000 feet above sea level. Provincial Road 12 soon followed after deep snow and fallen trees made passage impossible. As the storm strengthened, responders faced a mounting list of emergencies. Cars became stranded in remote areas, fire brigades navigated icy slopes to clear debris, while civil protection teams worked through the night to reach mountain villages cut off from the valley below. On the high plateau of Altopiano dell'Aquila, powerful gusts carved drifts so deep that even off-road vehicles lost traction. With visibility near zero and temperatures plunging, the Abruzzo storm revealed its true power, an extreme winter event that pushed the region to the edge of paralysis. As the snowstorm intensified across Abruzzo, chaos unfolded in towns and mountain districts unprepared for such rapid and overwhelming accumulation. What began as a steady snowfall escalated into a dangerous whiteout, burying cars, blocking roads, and trapping residents inside homes as drifts climbed past 3 feet in just a few hours. Visibility plunged to near zero. Motorists on State Road 17 found themselves stranded as winds whipped snow across the highway, turning every direction into a wall of blinding white. Emergency phone lines lit up across the province. Families reported being unable to leave their driveways. Others described snow piling against front doors so quickly they feared they'd become sealed inside. Firefighters and civil protection teams worked through the night, cutting through fallen trees and clearing debris with chainsaws and snowplows, but progress was slow. Some rescue vehicles themselves needed rescuing after getting stuck in snow up to their axles. In mountain towns like Campo di Giove and Pesco Costanzo, the situation became even more critical. A massive boulder broke free from a cliff and crashed onto a key provincial road, nearly blocking the only route connecting small hamlets to hospitals and supply centers. Residents bundled in heavy coats and boots waded through knee-deep snow to check on neighbors, deliver food, and shovel pathways, small acts of resilience amid a night of mounting uncertainty. In Prata d'Ansidonia, a massive boulder crashing onto Provincial Road 52 narrowly missed 2 passing cars, an incident locals described as seconds from tragedy. Even essential workers felt the impact. Snowplow crews battled exhaustion as they worked non-stop to keep at least one lane open for emergency vehicles. Hospitals in nearby towns prepared for a potential surge in hypothermia cases, injuries from falls, and vehicle accidents. Through it all, communities rallied, sharing food, shoveling neighbors' paths, and using social media to track missing travelers. Yet the storm's grip only tightened, reminding everyone how vulnerable mountain regions can be when nature unleashes its full force. Emergency crews across Abruzzo launched a rapid, full-scale response as the snowstorm pushed the region into crisis. Firefighters, civil protection teams, and road maintenance units worked through the night, battling freezing temperatures and whiteout conditions to keep critical routes open. Snowdrifts climbed 3 to 4 feet along major roads, burying signs, blocking intersections, and trapping dozens of vehicles that slid off the pavement or stalled in deep powder. In the high mountain towns, rescue teams used chainsaws and heavy machinery to clear fallen trees that snapped under the weight of the snow. On the A25 highway, traffic backed up for miles as crews worked to free stranded vehicles and guide motorists to safer ground. Police units patrolled State Road 17, redirecting drivers into forced closures and assisting travelers stuck along the Alto Piano dell'Aquila, one of the storm's hardest-hit corridors. Air rescue teams remained on standby as reports came in of isolated households running low on heat, food, and electricity. In Prezza Cruz, responders inspected a massive fallen boulder that had crashed onto a key provincial road, ensuring the route stayed open long enough for emergency vehicles to pass through. Even as crews worked non-stop, conditions remained volatile. Another burst of snow could shut down entire districts again, and responders knew every hour mattered. Their fight wasn't just against the storm, but against time itself. As the storm slowly weakened, Abruzzo region found itself confronting a second and equally dangerous phase of the crisis, one shaped not by falling snow, but by what the storm had already left behind. In the highlands between Pesco Costanzo and Campo di Giove, snow depths exceeding 3 to 4 feet remained firmly packed, burying rooftops, blocking driveways, and cutting off entire hamlets from the surrounding towns. Roads that had been cleared the night before were quickly coated again by drifting snow driven by icy winds sweeping across the mountains. Emergency crews worked around the clock to maintain access to essential corridors, but the challenges mounted. A massive boulder that had crashed onto Provincial Road 52 continued to destabilize the cliffside above it, raising fears of additional rockfalls. Power outages flickered across rural communities as overloaded lines sagged beneath the weight of ice. Access to medical facilities became difficult, forcing some emergency transports to rely on snowcats and specialized rescue vehicles. Residents faced freezing temperatures dropping well below 20 degrees, and shelters began preparing to receive families whose homes were too cold or unsafe to remain in. Meteorologists warned that more snow squalls could develop as cold air pushed across the mountains, creating renewed whiteout conditions. Despite the progress made, Abruzzo knew the danger wasn't over, only shifting. The Abruzzo snowstorm will be remembered not just for the volume of snow it delivered, but for the way it tested the strength of mountain communities built on resilience. In just 24 hours, a picturesque region became a frozen battlefield. Roads were buried, travelers stranded, homes darkened, and emergency crews pushed to their limits. Yet through the cold, the darkness, and the uncertainty, a familiar pattern emerged. Neighbors helping neighbors, volunteers stepping into danger, and responders fighting through the elements to protect the people depending on them. It was a reminder that even in some of the harshest winter landscapes, humanity rises to meet the challenge. Events like this aren't isolated. Around the world, extreme weather, snowstorms, floods, and hurricanes are becoming stronger, more disruptive, and more unpredictable. Abruzzo's experience is part of a larger story unfolding across the planet. For viewers watching from the United States, the message is clear. Stay informed, stay prepared, and never underestimate the power of winter weather. And if you want more cinematic breakdowns of global extreme weather events and the people living through them, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps bring these real stories to life.